really get into some of the nitty-gritty on Zozobra and the Kiwanis Club of Santa Fe, and we're going to be talking with Ray Sandoval. Ray, thank you for being with us. Appreciate that.
Cindy, thank you so much for having me this morning. It's great to be talking about Zozobra in January.
Normally, we probably talk about Zozobra all year long.
We do. It is a process that takes our entire year.
Does it really? Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Zozobra first, and the event, and then talk about Kiwanis and some of the programs that you do through Kiwanis, some of the funds that you raise at Zozobra for it.
Great,
so,
absolutely.
Tell me first a little bit, we talked a little bit before the show about how long you've been doing and working with Zozobra and the Kiwanis Club, and you said you started when you were
6 years old.
6 years old.
So over 30 years. I won't say exactly how long, but it was something that my parents took me to every year. And it was funny because my cousins would scream and holler at Zozobra and be afraid, and then when he was gone, they would jump up in jubilation. And for me, it was the opposite.
Oh, you're kidding.
I would look at Zozobra in awe, and then as soon as he was gone, I was the one who was crying. And so when I got to kindergarten the first time, I actually decided that for show and tell, I would call the Kiwanis Club up and ask them to come and do a slideshow on Zozobra.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And my teacher informed me that normally it's nice to ask the teacher first than just having people show up.
Oh.
But it worked because it allowed me to get my first invitation to a Zozobra construction, and then I've been hooked ever since.
You're kidding. So every year, you've been coming every year.
Every year. You know, I lived out of state for law school, and I would still come back every year. It's a little difficult to explain to my Bostonian teachers a little bit about what the festival was like, but
yeah, it's like, well, I have to go home for the Santa Fe Fiesta, and this is what that is about, but I have to do this. Like, yeah, it's a little, I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, tell us about the process for Zozobra. So, so this year, we picked a date, and it's going to be September
5th, Thursday, September.
So it's going to be on a Thursday again. So, and we had to, Zozobra used to fall on a Friday.
It did.
And it's been Thursday now for several years. And is that working out for everybody? I mean, people like
it. You know, we're still looking at that. I mean, part of the problem, and a lot of people don't understand, is the admission price. You know, we after the $20 admission price this year, we got a lot of flack about that. And so people wanted to understand where that money went to. Do we pay dancers? Do we pay performers? What does that money go to? Can't this event be free? Can't the city just hold this event for free? And the long and short of it is that Zozobra really does two things. Zozobra funds himself for the next year, but it also funds all the good works that we do. We give away about $40,000 in scholarships and about $35,000 to nonprofit grants here in Santa Fe. So that money goes right back into the community. But on a larger sense, we also are part of the Kiwanis International family. And so what we've been doing is our project was IDD, iodine deficiency disorder. And basically what this was is that children all over the world were being born mentally retarded because of the fact that they didn't get enough iodine in their diet. And so Kiwanis partnered with UNICEF, and Zozobra was one of the largest contributors, and now that disease is almost gone from the entire earth.
Oh my gosh, that's
so,
interesting.
Fantastic.
There's more of a history. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. So, well, I mean, and we talk more about Kiwanis and what some of the scholarships are for and stuff. So, so Zozobra is then one of your major fundraisers.
Zozobra is our major fundraiser.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is because it takes all year to do this. You know,
walk me through the beginning. So when do you guys start? Like, you probably start like the next day, right?
Actually, we start that night. And one of the things that we do is as soon as the fire department actually sprays Old Man Gloon's bones, we actually go there and we start with a forensic analysis to look at his bones. And because one of the things that we want to make sure of is that he's structurally sound. He's not going to fall on any of the little kids who are taking pictures of the gloomies as they come out or anything. Did something break that year? Did the eyes not work? Did the arm not work? What did we do wrong? What can we make better? So it really starts that evening. And then the next day, we start with the process and looking at everything. How did security go? What did we do? How did we bring in stuff? Did things work the way that we wanted them to? And what we found is that we've done a really good job of fundraising for this event. We haven't been very good hosts in the past. And so we think that last year was kind of the perfect storm. We didn't tell people, hey, you can't bring strollers, or, there was a miscommunication with our security, which led to cigarettes and lighters being confiscated. We had an hour-and-a-half wind delay. We didn't have enough traditional music. And so one of the things that we really want to work on this year is to be better hosts. This is a privilege to hold this event for the city of Santa Fe. We need to do a better job of customer service and saying, you are welcome, community. Come and enjoy this. This is as much for you as it is for us.
Well, I like to hear that, and I think that all the people in Santa Fe and the residents and visitors alike, really, I think some of the things that I felt and I heard also was exactly what you're saying, is that people didn't feel welcome, and they didn't feel it's like, well, this is a community event, this is our event and stuff. And for you to say, that Kiwanis looks at it as a privilege to host it for the city, really says a lot. So I think that next year, people really are going to realize this stuff, it is about community, and Kiwanis is there to host us. And so I really appreciate that approach. So what are some of the other changes you think that you would like to make? Can you tell us the color of his hair?
No, I can't do that. That's a secret. We like it when people walk up and say, "Oh my God, his hair is red or green."
It's red. Yeah, I know. It's
but we have some really good things planned. But the first change that I think affects the public is that we've slashed the admission price. Okay. So it'll be $10 for adults and kids under 10 free. Okay. There's no tiered system this year, so if you buy it beforehand or afterhand, it doesn't matter. It's $10 and for kids free. We really want the community to be able to afford this. So when we were looking at this, we wanted three things. Number one was affordability, right? Number two was public safety. Right. And with all the other things that we needed to do, there was a lot of push to change this from Thursday night to Friday night. And we felt as a club that let us get our house in order. Let us deliver the best Zozobra that we can possibly deliver, fix all the things that we think need fixing, and then go from there. And so that really is what we kind of harken back to. And so this year you'll be able to buy tickets online. Okay. But if you don't like that, you can go down to the plaza and buy tickets on the plaza, or you can buy them at your local credit union. So rather than always being, you have to do it this way, what we really went into this year doing is saying, what's a choice for the consumer, for the community? How do we make it easier for them?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. Well, I know that, for one, I used to, born and raised here, and been going to Zozobra, and we were talking a little bit about it in terms of, I remember back in the day, and this is like definitely going to date myself, and when we used to drive our cars into Fort Morrissey, and I'm like, how did we do that? How did we even get our cars there? So it's definitely changed over the many decades that it's been going on.
And that's really the balance that we're struggling for, is that how do we provide the show that people remember, right, and the nostalgia that they had for a different time of Santa Fe. Yeah. Unfortunately, in our day and age, we have people who walk into movie theaters, and shoot people. And so how do you balance that, being able to give the community an amazing event, but at the same time, their safety has to be our number one priority. And so
go ahead.
So we thank the city of Santa Fe because they worked really hard with us in the preceding months after this year's Zozobra to really work through all of these different changes. So that way we can, number one, provide security, but at the same time make people feel welcome.
Right, and I appreciate that, and I think that one of the things that we talk about for Zozobra too is the partnership between the Kiwanis and the city of Santa Fe.
Absolutely.
Because the city also provides a great number of services, and of course safety is paramount. We want to make sure that people are definitely celebrating and having a good time, but are safe, and that their kids are safe, and they feel safe in their environment, where they are on the field or watching from afar. So safety and security. So we have police and we have fire, and then the fire department, the role that they play. The city parks and the solid waste department with the litter prevention. Keep Santa Fe beautiful. Volunteers, to look at keeping the park clean and how do we clean up. So, tell me a little bit more about the other partnerships or the value of the partnership.
I think that absolutely we could not do this event without all the different departments in the city of Santa Fe. And so we are very, very grateful to them. But the other partnership that we want to focus on is a partnership that we haven't been very good at, which is with the Fiesta Council. Okay. And so one of the things that people will see this year is that we're going back to the 1960 Will Schuster script. Okay. And so what happens is that Schuster says that after Zozobra burns and he's gone, that the Fiesta song is, quote, to blare, and that Don Diego de Vargas and the Queen and the Cuadrilla are supposed to retake the stairs in triumph. Oh. That hasn't happened since the late 1960s, and so we're working with our Fiesta Council partners to actually integrate fiestas much more. We think that, in the past, we've gone too separated. This is a Fiesta event. We want people to feel that way, and so we want to make sure that that partnership is alive and strong.
No, that sounds great, and the Fiesta Council is open to it, I'm sure.
The Fiesta Council has been fantastic. They listened to some of the proposals we had about moving to Friday and some of the other stuff that we did. In fact, we're actually going to be doing the Zozobra art show at the rail yard. Okay. We'll be building at El Museo, and one of the reasons that we wanted to do that is open up the construction. We want people to feel like this is their Zozobra. Oh, wow. And so just as a child gets in to take a picture with Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, they're going to be able to take their picture with Zozobra's head. Okay. And so
will he have hair?
Yeah, he'll have hair at that time. I don't know if it'll be colored yet. Oh, okay, we might want to keep that as a secret. But what we want to have happen is really for the community to be able to do this. And so we're in talks with the rail yard to have live entertainment, also to show a Fiesta movie. And so that way the community can come and really start the celebration early.
Well, that sounds great. Well, it sounds like you guys have quite a bit planned and have put a lot of thought into what changes that you want to see, and really valuing all that is what the Fiesta is to celebrate.
Absolutely.
And all that Zozobra has, grown to be and stuff. So that's just really, I know, going to be greatly appreciated by the community. So tell me a little bit more about Kiwanis Club of Santa Fe. It's like your members, and how many members do you have, and what are some of the programs that you find in the scholarships?
Absolutely. So Kiwanis Club of Santa Fe is part of the larger Kiwanis Club, Kiwanis International. And basically, our chapter has about 69 members right now. And so the things that we do with the Zozobra money is we hold the Derby that comes out every year.
Oh my gosh,
we support key clubs. So the Santa Fe High Key Club, the Santa Fe Indian Key Club. We're going to be starting some other key clubs around the city. And so we really support youth. So Kiwanis' #1 goal is young children.
Yeah, okay.
So just as we were talking a little bit earlier about the iodine deficiency, which we really partnered with UNICEF to help eradicate around the globe, we're now on Project Eliminate. And this is actually to eliminate neonatal tetanus from around the world. This takes about 60,000 women and children's lives every year.
Oh my gosh.
And so with a simple vaccination that costs pennies, we're able to do this. And Zozobra actually donated almost $30,000 to Project Eliminate this year. And so, when people come to us and say, does your admission price go to dancers? Does it go to entertainment? That does. And all of that is volunteers. All of my time, all of my colleagues' times are volunteered. All of that money either goes back into the community of Santa Fe, which is our first priority, and then after that it goes internationally to help out and actually save lives.
Well, that's a great, I knew about the Kiwanis, again, being from here, but I didn't realize the international connection is so, great. And I think it's kind of interesting, too, when you think about people really, you hear that saying, think local, act local, think global, and it sounds like the Kiwanis really does that. You're really looking at a local event, bringing people in, but it has real global implications. Absolutely. In terms of how you're touching with the international club.
In a very interesting way, it comes full circle, right?
Yeah.
Because Fiestas is a celebration to Our Lady, right? And what better gift to Our Lady than to help save the lives of children and mothers around the world?
Right.
And so, it really feels great.
No, that's great. That's really good. So what other things is the Kiwanis? So you're 69 members. Do they all, you have, how many volunteers do you have on Zozobra?
About 200. So we swell. Everybody becomes a Kiwanian because they want to get close to Zozobra.
You have to recruit friends and family.
That's right, absolutely. It's great because there's so much work to do. There's so many things that we need help with that we welcome. In fact, we would welcome anybody who's listening who wants to help with Zozobra. Join the Kiwanis Club of Santa Fe. Make a difference in your community and light some bonfires with us and have some fun.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know that 2 years ago I was in D.C. for a fiesta with some New Mexican friends, and we had our own little Zozobra. We won't tell the residents or the fire department of D.C., but it was actually kind of fun. Because it really is something that is a part of the community. So if any of you out there are really interested and would like to join Kiwanis or volunteer for the event, you can volunteer with Kiwanis, you can volunteer with Keep Santa Fe Beautiful, as I mentioned. They have volunteers trying and working to keep the event a litter-free event. So there's a lot of volunteer opportunities for not only during Fiesta, Zozobra, but also with Kiwanis. You're doing the Pinewood Derby, you said, and you do other things. Are there other programs or anything else that you wanted to emphasize about Kiwanis?
Absolutely. One of the things that we're actually hosting our mid-year winter conference for the Southwest District of Kiwanis. And so what that does is it gives us an opportunity to show off our city and also all the good work that our club's been doing. But one of the projects that we really want to start is Key Leader. And so Key Leader actually is a little bit, so our key clubs are for high school students. Right. Key Leader is actually for junior high. And what we found is that if we can actually get to children a little bit earlier and install that sense of civic pride and civic value in volunteerism, that really takes hold much more, and it actually throughout the rest of their lives they become a better citizen. And so we're really looking forward to actually starting some of these Key Leader clubs throughout the city of Santa Fe.
And is that something that Kiwanis Club is doing nationally and
internationally? It is. It's internationally and nationally, and it's something that we've looked at our research and we've thought about this quite a bit and said, where is it that we can really put our financial resources in to really back and help out, and it pays big dividends. And we found that when we meet and talk with students much earlier, that we actually get them for life.
Yeah, I think that's a great program. It sounds exciting and make me, I'm going to volunteer. Sign me up. That's signing me up. But J. Ray, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to another successful Zozobra, and I know all of the changes that you all have made, and just really being more inviting to the community and stuff. So now there are no excuses for